Hello everyone and welcome to Bizarre Movies. Today we will recap an action movie, in which an immortal witch hunter tries to save the world by stopping a deadly plague. But before we start, a gentle reminder, that this is just a movie explanation and we encourage you to watch the full movie. Spoilers ahead, watch out and enjoy. At the beginning of the film, we see some people who have come to a dangerous place to eliminate a queen witch. Calder, along with his companions, works as a witch hunter, and seeks to rid their town of the witch's curse, which has brought the Black Plague. When they reach her cave, she comes in front of them, and starts attacking them using her magic. Many warriors fall in battle. But Calder, the main character, fights back using his sword that breathes fire. A fierce conflict ensues, with Calder's friends defending themselves against the evil creatures, while he confronts the queen. However, he is momentarily distracted when he finds a toy that reminds him of his deceased family. Realizing that the illusion is not real, Calder refocuses and engages the Witch Queen directly. Queen overpowers him easily, but Calder ignites the fire in his sword and sets the queen ablaze, ultimately stabbing her, and bringing an end to her reign. In her last moment, the queen gives Calder the power of immortality, so that he can live forever with his suffering and loneliness. Calder wanted to destroy himself after killing the queen, so that he can meet his family in the afterlife. But now he will live forever. After 800 years, and in the present time, we see Calder inside a plane. As he breathes on the window, he notices a symbol indicating the presence of magic. Suddenly, a storm begins to form outside the aircraft. Calder realizes that a witch is present among the passenger. Using a pin and a glass of water as a makeshift compass, he successfully identifies the witch. It is revealed that the witch is carrying ancient stones in her bag, causing the storm that threatens to bring down the plane. Calder seizes the stones and deactivates them, making the storm instantly go away. Sometime later, Calder pays a visit to his close friend, the 36th Dolan, who is also a member of the organization like him. During their conversation, it is revealed that witches still exist, and are permitted to coexist with humans, as long as they refrain from using magic against them. 36th Dolan is going to retire today, and Calder gives him a beautiful pen as a gift. In fact, in the last 800 years, 36th Dolan has worked with Calder. Calder learns that the next Dolan, the 37th, has already been chosen, and he is a young man who vows to look out for Calder. After their meeting, the 36th Dolan takes a taxi to go home, while a mysterious figure named Belial observes him from a distance. At night, Calder gets a call from someone, who gives him the sad news that Dolan 36 has passed away. Devastated by the news, Calder attends the ceremony, where the young man is officially declared the 37th Dolan, marked with a burning symbol on his arm. Calder goes to his house the very next day to investigate his death. He employs his usual methods, such as breathing on the window and using a lighter, to search for signs of black magic. He doesn't find anything suspicious. However, as Calder is preparing to leave, he comes across 3 dead flies, which raises his suspicion. He drops magic powder on those flies, which reveals the real condition of the room. This confirms that the entire room has been cursed with rare black magic, and that his friend was murdered. Upon further investigation, Calder realizes that the pen he had given to the 36th Dolan is missing. He also discovers a book with bloody fingerprints, leading him to suspect the new Dolan. However, the new Dolan proves his innocence by showing Calder his burned hands. It turns out that when the new Dolan was a child, witches had set his house on fire, and Calder had saved him. Afterward, the two of them head to a local bakery and forcefully enter the kitchen, where they find people cooking with disturbing ingredients. A powerful witch named Max is present, selling illegal substances. Upon seeing Calder and the new Dolan, Max attempts to escape using a cloud of butterflies, but Calder stops him by capturing the butterflies in a jar. Max claims to have no knowledge of anyone using dark magic, but then he informs that it smells like ginger inside, which makes Calder understand who Max is talking about. Concerned for Dolan's safety, Calder sends him home and decides to investigate the matter alone. He goes to an abandoned house, where encounters a frightened young girl. However, Calder soon realizes that the girl is actually a warlock, disguised as a girl named Elec. Elec immediately attacks Calder, but Calder stabs her in the leg, injuring her. Upon discovering Dolan's gift pen in Elec's possession, Calder renders him unconscious, and then he captures her and brings her to the council. The 37th Dolan seizes the opportunity to exact revenge by punching Elec. The council's leader, Glazer, employs card reading to establish Elec's guilt, dismissing Calder's assertion that Elec couldn't have acted alone due to the potency of the spell used. Ignoring Calder's plea, Glazer summons a fearsome creature known as the Sentinel, and promptly feeds Elec to it. However, Calder notices a dead insect on Glazer's clothing, which sparks an idea. He proceeds to examine the body of the 36th Dolan, and employs a carved candle to demonstrate the presence of magic. Further inspection of Dolan's neck reveals another insect, indicating that he has not died naturally, but has actually fallen victim to an ancient form of black magic. The only way to break the curse on Dolan is to kill the warlock who cast it. As Alec is already dead, it suggests that he was working for someone else. Calder also observes a cut on Dolan's finger. After this, he checks Dolan's diary, in which he left a message for him before he died, saying remember the time of your death. Since Calder has no memory of his early life, so he goes to the Witches' Club, and asks for a memory spell from Chloe, the owner. Chloe is initially hesitant to help a witch hunter, as he is known for hunting her kind. Nevertheless, upon hearing that it is for the sake of a friend, she agrees. Chloe prepares a memory potion concealed within a cherry. When Calder consumes it, he suddenly finds himself transported to the past, witnessing his own corpse kneeling on the ground. But before he can see any other thing there, Belial appears and interrupts the spell. He brings Elder out of the memory. He claims that I have brought 36 to this condition with the help of Alec, and now it is your turn. Unfortunately, Calder remains under the effects of the spell and experiences hallucinations, rendering him unable to fight effectively. He starts burning all the things in the bar, leaving Chloe to snap Calder out of his memory. Calder makes another attempt to capture Belial, but Belial opens a hole in the floor using roots, and disappears. Later that evening, when Chloe is at home, strange noises startle Chloe in her apartment, and suddenly all the lights explode, allowing Roots to emerge and pull her down toward hell. But at the right time, Calder comes there and saves her, and she wakes up at another place. Calder and the 37th Dolan are conducting research on Belial, and Calder seeks Chloe's assistance once again, convincing her to collaborate in seeking revenge for the loss of her bar. Chloe agrees to help, but with her bar destroyed, she needs ingredients for the potion. She takes Calder to her friend's house, only to discover that her friend has been murdered, and the essential plants have been stolen. Suddenly, Chloe receives a call from her friend's phone, but it's Belial on the line, issuing a threat of more attacks to come. Left with no other options, Calder decides to seek assistance from the dangerous witch Danique, who agrees to lend them the plants. However, as Chloe is examining the plants, Calder begins to experience illusions of his family. It turns out that Danique is a traitor, and while her employees capture Chloe, Calder falls into a memory spell. He finds temporary happiness in seeing his family again, but Chloe persists in talking to him, ultimately breaking the spell. Returning to reality, Calder manages to overpower Danique's men, frees Chloe, and interrogates Danique. Despite her insistence that she doesn't know Belial's intentions and only provided the plants, Calder decides to let her go without punishment. However, Chloe seeks revenge by stealing Danique's magical gem and destroying it, revealing Danique's true hideous face. Following this encounter, Calder has a conversation with Chloe, and discovers that she is a dreamwalker, capable of entering someone's mind without the need for potions. Chloe confesses her fear of her ability, as her brother died when she used it on him. In response, Calder takes her to a sacred place that reveals the history of witches, and helps her embrace her legacy. He reminds her of his immortality, and guides her through the process of entering his mind. Together, they revisit the night of the curse, and discover Calder's charred body. As Dolan tries to kill the Queen's heart, Calder starts dying too. So he keeps the heart hidden from everyone. After seeing this incident, Calder confronts the 37th Dolan at the cathedral, blaming the organization for keeping the location of the Queen's heart a secret. The young Dolan explains that the 36th Dolan had considered destroying the heart to free Calder, but it never happened. He provides Calder with the location of Belial's truck, which can be tracked. Calder quickly heads to the woods, where he finds Max being used as a sacrifice by Belial, to summon the Witch Queen with the hidden heart. Chloe appears, but it's revealed to be an illusion created by Belial. In the ensuing fight, Calder manages to kill Belial with a knife, but the Witch Queen takes advantage of the distraction to stab Calder with a root, reclaiming her immortality. Max transforms into the Queen, who attacks Calder with a swarm of magic before disappearing into the tree. Returning to the city, Calder discovers that the 36th Dolan has been revived, but he knows that the Witch Queen plans to unleash a Black Plague curse. Feeling helpless, Calder realizes he must face the Queen once again. Determined to prove himself to his friend, he obtains a legendary sword, and gathers stones to empower himself. Joined by Chloe and the 37th Dolan, they make their way to the council room, where the plague tree is kept safe. Sadly, they find Glazer, the council leader, dead, confirming the Queen's presence and her intent to unleash the plague upon the world. In the depths of the cave, Calder breaks through a wall to release Alec's body, which was chanting the plague spell. Meanwhile, Chloe enters Alec's mind to confront him. As they struggle, Chloe manages to push Alec into the root hole, ending the chanting and stopping the plague spell. On the other hand, Calder is shown a vision of the future world which is completely ruined. Witch Queen tells him that no matter what you do, you will not be able to stop the virus from spreading, which will ruin the whole world. Each hit Calder takes leaves a scar on his mortal body. Despite the challenges, Calder stabs the Queen, breaking the illusion. Back in reality, Calder ignites his sword with a stone, knocking down the Queen again. However, before he can deliver the final blow, the 37th Dolan appears, revealing himself as a witch and holding Chloe at gunpoint. He explains that he is the son of the witches Calder killed when he was a child, and hopes to gain magic as a reward from the Queen. Dolan shoots Calder and hands Chloe over to the Witch Queen, who resumes the chanting to release the plague upon the city. However, the Queen sees Dolan as useless without magic and kills him with her magic swarm. Unconscious but driven by the support of his family in his dreams, Calder awakens and uses a weather stone from the plane to activate a lightning effect on his sword. With renewed determination, he kills the Queen with his sword and regains his immortality. As soon as she dies, the plague also ends. And at the same time, Calder's wounds heal, and the city is free from the grip of darkness. But just as Calder is about to kill the Queen's heart, Chloe tells him that the world still needs him to continue his fight against witches, and promises to keep the heart safe. She assures him that he won't be alone anymore. After this, he goes to meet Dolan 36. Calder informs that he will no longer work for the organization. With his decision made, Calder embarks on a new journey alongside Chloe. To know the movie's name, check the pinned comment right now. If you like the story, then do watch the full film, and if you want to watch more such amazing recaps, then do subscribe to our channel and enable bell notifications to receive the latest regular updates. See you in the next recap.